You know, we've been on the radio for over 2 hours this morning, and we haven't even acknowledged that Jimmy Norton went to the rock and roll induction ceremonies.
After all the whining and crying and bitching and kvetching.
Yes.
Sorry, Jim.
No, you're right.
After all of that, you actually got in.
Yesterday we had Bill Ward call in, and then a lot of people didn't know, but Tony Iommi was pitching a show. He wants to do a show on XM. Mm-hmm. He has a radio show in England. So Ben and Steve, through Kevin at Sanctuary, I fucking love these guys, hooked up a lunch. For us with Tony Iommi.
You had lunch with Tony Iommi.
I'm thinking there's no way it's going to happen.
Uh-huh.
As soon as Bill called in, right after that, they got the confirmation. I guess the call went well. We go across the street to Shelley's at noon. We're like, I figure he's going to show up at 12:30. We'll have coffee if he shows.
Yeah.
Fucking 1 minute of noon, there with the glasses, looking like a rock star, is Iommi and his manager and Kevin. And fucking Tony Iommi walks in, and we're all sitting down to have lunch. And I'm so stupid, I was going to sit catty corner across the table, and Steve's like, do you want to sit next to him? And I'm like, oh, yeah, thanks.
Like it's a bitch walking in. Like a girl is coming in, and you guys are like, you want to sit next to him?
Dude, we sat there and fucking chit-chatted and ordered lunch and ate for an hour and 45 minutes. I sat there and rapped with Tony Iommi. It was
You spent an hour 45 just hanging. One of the guys.
Talking about radio and the FCC and the whole thing and censorship and play. It was fucking amazing. No, it was fun.
This was probably one of the best days of your life.
It might be. I think I had the best day of my adult life yesterday. I really do. Yeah. I think I had the best day of my adult life.
Ben describes a scene that only Ben can describe.
Yeah,
if
let's
we
get
can
Ben,
get
in,
Ben
here
in here
and Steve in here.
Yeah.
Because they describe it slightly different.
No.
I love Ben because Ben was very giddy and excited
giddy.
for you. I was very excited for you. But Ben, it went well for Jim. I mean, Jim was ecstatic.
Jim was actually a lot better behaved than I thought he would be. I mean, he was very excited.
Yeah.
But out of the whole thing, there's a lot of funny parts to this. The best is, Steve and I are having a conversation with Kevin from Sanctuary about other stuff, and I look over, and Jim is pouring a pot of tea into Tony's, or coffee into Tony's coffee cup.
Tony, coffee?
Tony? And he's doing it like it's just such
Tony, a refresh? Here's what happened. Tony and I were chatting, and you know how it is when you talk to the front man from Sabbath and the guitars.
Right.
Tom, would you like some more coffee? And he said, right. He's a
and
British
you got
gentleman.
the pot and
I poured my friend Tony a little
as
coffee.
you're doing it, were you thinking to yourself, "Oh my God, I'm pouring coffee for Tony Iommi"?
I'm saying to myself, "You dumb motherfucker, don't scald Tony Iommi.
You better not spill it, or it'll end up like that
scald
Canadian PSA."
The guy
He spilled my coffee. You fucking cunt.
Dude, I was pouring Iommi coffee. It was unimportant to most people in the world,
but
one of the
you,
greatest moments of my life.
You were the happiest little schoolgirl ever.
Even better is you just hear Jim mentioning something like, and I have this tape from 1970-something of Bob Marley, and there's a Bob Marley reference that Ozzy made, and Tony's describing it like it was yesterday. Like, he has a memory of his whole career. It's pretty unbelievable.
You're bringing up some real obscure stuff.
But he loved it because it was like they were real fans. It wasn't like an interview.
No, he didn't.
No, he did, actually.
Because Anthony and I...
No, he didn't.
No, because Anthony and I were talking about this
But
behind your back.
could you imagine sitting for almost 2 hours with an Uber fan and all he's doing is, dude, when you did the 55-gallon drum challenge and that chick got that thing in her ear, the bug, and the hospital, I would sit there 5 minutes in and someone would be getting shot. Either me, I might have to just shoot myself, or the fan, but to sit with an Uber fan like that would drive me batty.
No, because we were having a nice chat. It wasn't all that. But I think he liked the fact that somebody knows all this obscure band stuff instead of the same dumb shit he gets from everybody.
Perhaps he enjoyed it in the mid-'70s.
Oh, he loved it.
I think it got to the point now where he's like, oh, who is this fucking wanker?
Dude, he never would have stayed for an hour and 45 minutes if he wasn't having fun. The only way that we left, we were having a great time, is the manager wanted him to relax a little before the ceremony. We sat there. After lunch, how long did we sit there?
Jimmy, they're telling me you have to go. No? I'm teasing, of course, because I am so happy for little Jimmy.
We sat there after we ate. We sat there. And look, dude, I'm fairly perceptive. If I'm annoying someone, I can see the watch look. We were talking, because we were talking a lot about radio and music.
What?
Yeah, exactly. It was kind of like that. The uncomfortable, like, look down, like, all right, I'll just shut my face.
I got one question.
Certainly.
Did you guys exchange numbers?
Oh.
No.
Oh.
I didn't have my Palm Pilot.
He didn't enjoy it.
He did.
He did not. I mean,
You could have hung.
you know, if you did an hour and 45 and it was going well, the next step would be, hey,
How'd you leave it off? Like,
yeah.
Dude, it was
did you
great.
touch his arm and ask for a photo?
Well, Kevin had a camera. I had one, and Tony was very happy to take a photo. You know, it was fine on the
So
way
you
out.
got one with just Tony also?
On the way out, yeah, real quick.
Because the one photo I saw, probably the greatest of the Jim Norton collection.
It absolutely
Ever.
is, and this is where this whole thing leads up to.
Yep.
It was a great hang. He was the nicest guy. We were talking about everything. I would love to do like
Wait, let me get into this a little bit. So, Ben, was he calm?
Jim?
During the lunch?
Very much so. Well, we actually talked a little bit of business, believe it or not, in the beginning. And, we listened to some of his radio show. He's actually got a pretty good radio show.
Yeah.
And Jim was very calm.
By business, Ben means a Coke deal went down.
Jim was a lot more calm than I thought he would be. I thought he was going to be a pain in the ass. And we get over there, and we're like, we're going to have to wait a half an hour. I thought so, too. I'm like, there's no fucking way. Because Jim's like, we got to get over there by 12. Because he was in psycho mode before.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
So he's like, we got to get over there. We got to get. I'm saying, there's no fucking way Tony Iommi's going to be on time. I'm like, this is ridiculous. So we get there. Sure enough, he gets there a minute after us.
Wow, good thing.
Yeah.
Imagine if he showed up and you guys weren't there.
Oh.
What the fuck? I'll go out with my wife for this shit.
Yeah, that would never happen. Chris from Pennsylvania. Chris?
Hey, was Jimmy sitting there like Chris Farley interviewing Paul McCartney on SNL?
He was actually incredibly restrained. This was not the first since we had interviewed Tony at Ozfest. Jim had gotten a lot of the gushing out at Ozfest, and now was sort of the follow-up gushing, which was followed by intelligent conversation. Jim was a lot more restrained in this conversation.
It was so surreal. This was so much. I couldn't be nervous. It was like beyond. I would be more nervous. I was more nervous when Mila Jovovich was sitting here because I just didn't know what to say to her.
She's as cute as a button.
I'll say she is. But with Iommi, it was so over the top, a dream come true. I couldn't believe it was happening. I was going to sit there, and he's fucking ordering a Cobb salad.
A Cobb salad.
Tony
with
wanted
calamari.
a Cobb salad.
Right, with calamari.
I didn't notice that
It
part.
looked very good.
I'm sitting there having lunch with Iommi. It was
At any point did he get up to go to the bathroom?
No.
Nope.
Sat there the whole time.
Neither did
Whole
I.
time.
No.
Believe
he
Whole
didn't.
time. But the
Your
best
little
part.
bird bladder just full, bursting at the
Full.
seams, not wanting to miss a moment though.
Full socks like water balloons.
My favorite part of the whole thing was the waitress comes over at the end. Is like the cook is a huge fan. Tony can sign an autograph, so he's signing an autograph. So then we're getting up, and there's these three guys that were sitting behind us. I kind of noticed them. They kept looking over. You know how annoying it is. So they grab me as I walk away. They're like, "Hey, who is that guy over there?" And I'm start saying, he goes, "No, the short guy with the bald hair, the comedian from HBO." I'm like,
Well,
so like, how funny is that for Jim? And then of course we walk out on the street, and then Tony just gets mobbed.
you
Right?
outshone Tony Iommi.
Well,
Now they
not
just
till we get
didn't see him.
outside. Yeah, when we get outside.
Did he really get mobbed?
Yeah,
Yeah, he did.
How did people know he was there?
They reckon
Right
he's so,
out on
dude. He
57.
looks like a rock star. When Iommi walk, he has a
Is
black
he that
leather jacket.
recognizable?
Tony
Yeah,
Iommi,
he
yeah.
is. Especially,
I'm being honest. I
Yeah,
had no
he's,
idea.
he's dressed in all black. His hair is all poofy, the dyed blue black.
But
He's
people
got the-
running up going, oh my God, they knew exactly who he was.
Yes.
They just know him. He looks like a rock star. Dude. Even if you weren't a Sabbath fan, you would look at him and go, "That's a,
He's somebody.
That's
you
Yeah.
pretty
have
cool.
to." Yeah.
Well, they were talking about on the walk over from the Waldorf that a cop pulls up and right over the loudspeaker, right as he's walking on 57th, Black Sabbath, over the thing, and they're just like, "Oh, Jesus Christ!"
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So, yeah.
Definitely
So
cool.
it was an amazing fucking lunch, and it didn't drag. It wasn't awkward. We were having quite a nice chat.
Oh.
We really had a few laughs. We talked about comedy. He was at
What
some
is the
comedy.
most obscure thing you talked about? Not Sabbath-wise, just something that you would never think you'd be discussing with Tony Iommi.
To be honest with you, well, like
The rocks in your apartment hallway?
I didn't mention that.
Oh,
no.
right. That would have been one of those things, though. I can't believe I'm talking about my rock.
Well, I talked about how good it was because he was talking about doing these weird gigs with this comedian he knows that he didn't even want money for. Like it's a comedian friend of his. They do parties together, but he didn't want money because then you just pressure to perform. It's like just kind of fun to fuck off. So I was talking about going on at the Cellar and just being creative and staying creative. We had a nice artistic chat about staying creative. Most obscure thing was I talked about Bill Ward's dreadlocks in the 70s And he explained to me how that happened, and it was a good story. I enjoyed it.
Most obscure, though, was that Black Sabbath played with the Commodores.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
yeah, they
also
did a show
did
with Commodores,
Did a
yeah.
shutter take. 'cause
Wow.
Tony, at some point he had to remember all of the opening acts they ever had. And he said there was over 160 bands have opened for them over the years, and the Commodores was the most obscure one.
So we had our lunch, and it was fantastic. And I was a gushing child. I mean, that
course you are.
dumb Eric from Whackbag yesterday. Be grateful for what, okay. There was nothing more I could ask for. Bill called in for 20 minutes. It was wonderful to talk to Bill. And I sat with Tony.
And then you called everybody. You called me.
Well, he
Of
walked
course
up-
I did.
He walked up 57th Street, me, him, and Steve, and Jim was like walking on air. You were just like, this is the greatest thing, the greatest. And then he was getting prepared because we were still working on the whole nighttime festivities.
Right. So now that stress comes working up.
Well, Ben's a genius. Ben says get a tux. It's like $30. This is what he tells me.
I didn't know it was going to be as much as it was.
That's
but-
all right. Me neither, but I thank God for credit cards. So I go around the corner, and I say, I need a tux, and they can see how desperate I am. When do you need it for? 3 minutes ago. And they fit me, and they give me the smashing price of $200. A tux for one day.
Well, now you have it in your closet for the next time. To rent.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ,
that
Jimmy.
tux is going back.
You should have done the show today with the tux on.
I thought of it.
Oh,
That would've been
wow.
I
hilarious.
thought of it.
There it is.
There it is.
I thought of it. I rent my tux for $200. I bring it back to my apartment. I'm probably not going to need it. Here's who I have working on this. My agent, who I guess it handles Blondie and Metallica, Steve Wigg, who's a buddy of mine, who is Steve is Lars's assistant. I didn't mention that yesterday. He's Lars's personal assistant. He's a friend of mine. I called him. Turns out he goes, Metallica just didn't have tickets because it wasn't their event. But he worked on it. He tried with the tour manager. Pete Papalardo at AGI fucking tried with Blondie's tour manager. I mean, there was so much shit happening. My agency only had 2 tickets to the event because they were $25 a ticket. Everybody, Tracy from XM, if you guys remember her, she knew people there doing audio. She was working on it for me. Fucking Ben throws out, hey, maybe Earl will get you a press pass. And I'm thinking, no, he won't.
Well,
Earl was
see,
the last option.
You really don't know Earl.
I know.
I mean, we beat him up a lot, but that guy gets
Earl's
things
amazing.
done.
It ain't 100%.
He
It
gets
ain't
things
guaranteed.
done.
And he tells you, he goes, look, this isn't a guarantee, but I'll try my best. And more times than not, he comes through.
He has more connections
Earl's
than
amazing.
anyone in this room.
The guy's
I
been
don't know
in
how, but he's
because
got-
through Scotzo's show. That guy has met and networked with every major rock star that has been in the business. It's amazing.
If you remember when we had Chris Robinson when we were up at BCN, we were broadcasting from BCN one time. Chris Robinson. Oh, hey Earl, how you doing?
Earl.
It's been great to see you. How you
Yeah,
doing? How's your
we're
family?
looking like who the fucking knows Chris Robinson?
Yeah, that's Earl for you, though.
That's
he
Earl.
knows everyone.
Fucking, I'm online. I'm almost like ready to give up because I'm tired. And I'm like, I want to kind of jack off. And I'm like, I got like an hour of sleep the night before. And I'm like, don't be Gary Greedy. You hung with Iommi. That's better than a photo.
Oh, Tony Iommi. Oh, I'm pouring his coffee.
Maybe it would have
A
been
little
like that.
cream in that, Tony.
Really fast, Farmer Kevin wants in. Farmer Kevin, what's up?
Hey, I'd like to know how many times the word phenomenal was spewed out of Jimmy's mouth.
Dude, I was calmer and more professional than you would think. Because I really did want to see it, help him get a show, because I do think the audio was great that I heard. And I just handled it. For some reason, I was so overwhelmed that it became a handleable, enjoyable situation.
Now, with the tux, did you wear the formal Breathe Right strip?
I didn't wear the Breathe
Or,
Right
no,
strip.
I thought you wore the. It looked like a little cummerbund on his nose.
Yeah, I spray painted it. I put a little tie.
Yeah, a little bow. Breathe Right.
So I'm hanging out on my computer. I'm like kind of like fucking on Pal Talk, like horny, and I'm like, I'm just gonna just relax and go to bed. I napped for an hour. I couldn't sleep. It was all I kept waking up thinking of Sabbath. I swear, I was obsessed.
Was?
Yeah, all right. So I finally get a call from Earl, and he goes, yeah, I may be able to, but you guys, me and Ben got turned down for our press passes. Earl and Ron Bennington from Ron and Fez got approved. Turns out Ron's not going, so Earl goes, why don't you come over with me? I'll change it over from him to you. I'm like, that's not going to work, stupid. They're not going to just go, oh, you want to come instead of the other guy? Walk right in. So I'm like, why don't you call me from there? That's a bust. Fucking Earl calls me a little while later. Okay, I did it. I'm like, I can go over there now? He goes, yeah, but you got to be there before 6. So I throw my tux on. I tried to shave with my electric shaver. I cut my lip. I was trying to shave my little mustache.
All shaky and nervous.
Dude, I fucking cut my lip. I'm bleeding into my mouth. I hop into a cab in my tux. I fucking make it over there, and I will be damned. I walk into the press room, And she's like, I don't know. We have Ron Bennington. And I'm like, oh, Earl. I'm
See,
gonna
Earl,
strangle that black neck.
Oh, you must have just been livid.
And then she goes, oh, here you are, Jim Norton. And the next thing you know, I have a beautiful Black Sabbath brochure and my fucking...
Look at you wore it today.
My press pass.
Got your press pass,
So,
and you got in. And now, what did the
this is
pass
6 o'clock,
get you?
6:20, into the press room, which was better than I thought. It was a big room in the Waldorf with food and drinks. There's a shitload of press around the room. With
Free food, gentlemen.
It was...
Always gets a laugh from the controller.
There was just all kinds of food and drinks and martial art instructors and all kinds of crazy. It was like a little a stage for them with the big Rock and Roll Hall of Fame banner behind it. And a few people recognized me as a comic, so I was talking to them. There was one guy from XM. I do not remember his name, but he's on one of the XM channels, and he has a syndicated show from London or some shit like that. So we talked, and another guy who recognized me, like he knew you guys from the old days, loved you. So nothing is happening. This is a little after 6. The fucking show finally, instead of 8 o'clock, starts at 8:45. I'm sitting in the second row. From where I am to Opie is how far I was from the stage where they were going to be talking.
Ooh.
The ceremony is a crushingly boring, awful event. We're watching it on flat screens away from the ballroom. It's horribly boring. Eventually, they began to filter in the artists. They filter in whoever the fuck they filter in. The two guys that started A&M, Miles Davis's family. And eventually, Blondie comes in. And this is probably at 10:30. She finally comes in. So everyone's snapping pictures. I'm in the second row. There's no photos in the row I'm in. And I'm like, when Sabbath comes out, I'm going to fucking stand up and ask a question, and you got to get a picture of me talking to Black Sabbath. You have to. I got the XM guy whose name I can't remember. I got the fucking other dude.
The 10-camera shoot going to go off.
I got the other dude who's fucking like you guys. I'm like,
you know how Jimmy sets pictures up.
Oh, yeah.
And this is the ultimate shot.
I'm like, you got to get a shot of me. He's like, well, I'll get the back of your head. I'm like, dude, get me a profile. I almost moved to the other side of the room. It was fucking really lunacy. So
Jimmy's in front of a green screen. They're like going to superimpose it in later.
Dude, the way that the artists would stand there, and people in my row and the front row had to stay seated, and all these photographers are going, to the center of the room, to the left, look right, Blondie, look left. It's fucking madness. The feeding frenzy these fucking photographers go through it was lunacy. So they asked Debbie Harry some questions, and actually the guy in our band was pretty funny. And then afterwards, I was watching on the monitor and fucking watching Sabbath be inducted by Metallica. And I got a little choked up watching Lars talk about fucking
I'm absolutely
Sabbath.
crying over
It
here.
really was a blubbering nothing.
Wow.
But it was really a
Do we have audio of Metallica talking about Black Sabbath or no?
Probably not yet. I don't know.
Not yet. I don't think.
All right, maybe tomorrow.
It
or
was
something.
It was moving though. What Lars said, it was so genuine and sincere about how you can't really describe what they mean to you, but they just mean a lot. It was just great. So it was like a good fucking rant he went on. So then they start to play, and then Sabbath goes up and gets their thing, and I'm watching, and I think Debbie Harry is talking through this. I'm like, fucking shut up. I'm trying to watch and listen. But they turn the monitors down when the press room activity is happening.
What was the thought when they walked onto the stage?
On the monitor, it was just wonderful to see them up there being a standing ovation. They showed a huge montage of them beforehand. They really gave Sabbath a lot of respect yesterday, which made me very happy.
And then do they each individually give like a little speech at the podium?
All talked a little. I couldn't hear any of it because, again, they turned that down for the artist in the room so the press
I think
can
we
talk
have
to her.
some Tony Iommi
You might.
audio here.
And I want to thank little Jimmy Norton for pouring my coffee this afternoon at our incredibly entertaining lunch.
We do have the audio of
recognition.
Metallica talking about Black Sabbath, for real.
Do you really?
Yeah, Derek's got it.
It was an honor and a dream come true to play those songs in front of those guys. I mean, forget about the rest of the room with all the great people in the room, but just having those four guys there watching us play their timeless music that, like I said, is pretty much responsible for us being here.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
There's actually a lot of it. He talked about
Yeah, I understand that.
taking the piss. He said, like I remember the tour when I first saw Metallica with Ozzy, and he said that they would go up and jam Ozzy songs or Sabbath songs, and Ozzy's like, are they taking the piss? Like, he thought they were fucking with him.
Right.
He didn't know if they were like just goofing on Sabbath stuff because Ozzy didn't think that anybody liked them. So anyway, a little while later, they said we got Metallica coming in. So I'm second row. I'm like, fucking, this is fantastic. Metallica is fucking 3 feet in front of me.
Right there.
Right there, People are barking out questions, and Lars is very vocal and comfortable, and I bark out a couple of questions.
What did you ask?
And do we have audio of this?
Yeah, the guy who's doing XM, who recorded
Are
for
we
XM.
gonna get this?
Yeah, we're gonna get it as soon as we find out his name.
God.
But you were like an official press guy.
The
You were
fuck-
actually asking questions and everything. How many questions did you ask?
Well, for Metallica, well, we'll get to that, because Metallica, I think the question I asked is, why do you think the critics always, because these fucking reporters, when are you guys on tour? Who gives a shit? Stupid. So I'm like, why do you think what is it about Black Sabbath that caused the critics to shun them the way they did? It was like in that vibe of a question. And they were like, and then Kirk Hammett just said, because their name wasn't White Sabbath, which got kind of a laugh. You know, there wasn't, I guess they didn't really
kind of funny.
expect that kind of a question.
Yeah.
And I think I asked one more question of them, which, because I kept going, hey guys, I was the worst.
Oh, no.
And Hetfield addressed the second question I asked pretty thoroughly. And for real, he looked at me. It was really weird. He was looking at me when he talked. I think they could sense that I was a fan and not just some jack-off with an education.
Jimmy piss himself like he's answering his question. You just hear the trickle of yellow
Drip,
water
drip, drip.
down his pants and see a big wet spot in the front.
And I look over and I see my friend Steve, who's Lars' assistant. So Metallica, I got a great shot of Metallica on stage, too. Fucking walk backstage. And I walk over there and I see Steve. And we say hello. And I'm like, can I come back? I was going to come back. Like, there's a black curtain. Like, here's the stage in front of you. And then there's a black curtain behind that where they bring the artists in for the other room. But behind the black curtain, away from the press, was Entertainment Tonight, Access Hollywood, and one more, where they did these, like, group TV things, which we didn't have access to. You had to walk behind a curtain and have special credentials. So I say to Steve, can I come back there? He goes, let me see where Lars' head is at, because he has to take care of Lars. I don't hear anything. I'm like, fuck, I'm not going to bug Steve. He's running around. I go back and sit down. By now, Earl has come. Earl comes at 10 o'clock. I've been there since a little after 6. He bumbles in. And I'm fucking like, all right, Earl, I love you for getting me in. When I'm asking a Sabbath question, he's got a regular camera with film. He doesn't even have a digital.
Right.
I'm like, you got to snap a photo of me talking to Sabbath. And he's like, okay. And he's going to stand right next to me. I'm like, dude, you got to move a little bit. You can't fucking stand right here. So he goes way
He was going to take an artistic shot of, like, your ear in black and white. And that'll be like, your ear represents you listening to back to the... No, get the fucking picture, artist.
So I look around. I'm hoping Sabbath is coming. I see Earl in the back of the room, like Ben said, talking to fucking two people who no one should talk to. Some fat guy with long hair and like a fucking Matrix long jacket. It's like, why would you address this person, Earl? So I interrupt him. I tap him.
It's probably Meatloaf, you
and
idiot.
That's exactly who it was. It looked exactly like him. Just a big fatso. Nobody cares. Or Bubba, like before he got cut. So I fucking go to Earl. I'm like, I just tap him. Like, look, can you make sure we get set up because Sabbath's coming in soon? And he's like, okay. And he shows me where he's. I'm gonna stand right here. I'm like, you're gonna get the back of my fucking head if you stand here. It was almost like it was a direct shot from the back of my head to the podium. I'm like, go over there. So I move him to the left, and he's ready with the camera. So fucking the next thing they say, ladies and gentlemen, Black Sabbath. Fucking Ozzy comes on, Geezer comes on. It's a little awkward because the other guys aren't there yet, and of course, I'm standing there and bursting with energy, and I want to fucking talk to them. Minute later, the whole fucking band is on stage. Some fucking reporter fires out some stupid fucking question. Who knows what it was? Hey, guys, can you shut up? I fucking hijacked that fucking press conference.
Oh, man.
I fucking hijacked it.
We need this audio.
I gotta
When do we
hear
get
this.
this audio?
Dude,
I
Tomorrow?
gotta hear this.
I fucking blurted out the real questions that I wanted to ask him, and I testimonialed before every question. It was like I was, these guys, I wanted to say shit in front of the media. Hey, do you guys think because the mainstream critics ignored you, and then question? I asked like 4 or 5 questions. People were fucking disgusted.
By the way, I've been back there. I went a couple of years ago. You're only supposed to get one question in. They must have hated you because they do it very systematically.
Yeah, they
how
hated
do
my
it.
guts because not only did I fucking blurt a question out, but I stood up for my picture. So I'm talking to Sabbath, and all I hear is, could you sit down, sir? Sir, could you sit down? Could you sit down, sir? And I'm thinking, take the picture, you fucking black bastard. I am fucking standing there, and when they walked out, Tony looked out and recognized me. Tony smiled when he saw me because I guess it was a familiar face, and he goes, "Oh!" And then fucking I think Bill recognized me, and Ozzy of course didn't, but Geezer remembered my face. I was making eye contact with all of them, and as they're talking, I'm giving them the fist, yes, I'm congratulating them. I was so fucking happy, thumbs upping like a little douche that I was.
Did you give like bow
No,
type wave like I gave you from the.
I would have. I would have given a rapier faggoty bow if I thought it would have made the fucking 4 British gentlemen happy.
Yes.
I was testimony before every fucking question.
I have got to hear his question.
It wasn't that long, but it was. I was
Don't
like,
care.
I would hear somebody try to
Radio
say something,
gold.
and I would go up. Hey guys, do you think that's the main way? And I would hear someone trying to talk. Fuck you! You're out of your league. You're not. This is 30 years, motherfucker.
Right.
Sit down, time
This is
boy.
all built up
Yes.
in Jimmy.
Sit down, David Hinckley. Ask your douchey. So, guys, when are you going on tour? Another one asked them. Yeah. When's the new album coming out? You fucking hack. What album was Hole in the Sky on? Next question. Shit dick.
Wow, people are calling you a stalker on Pal Talk.
No, fuck Pal Talk. I'm not a stalker.
You don't think?
No, I was asking questions. I wasn't jerking off behind them.
I wish there were pictures of you looking at Black Sabbath, because I bet you it's that creepy stare you get.
Oh, I gotta see any picture and hear any audio.
Yeah.
I know what Jim's talking about because I've been in the room with Earl a couple of years ago. It's all these journalist types. There's not a lot of real fans. And I mean, with the year we were back there, Aerosmith was getting in, and like Michael Jackson was where you are, Opie is to me, and it's just like, but there's nobody. It's all press people. So, and they ask the dumbest questions. It's, you know, when's the new album coming out? What's the tour dates? You know, when are you touring Europe? So there's no fans back there. So
they appreciate a question like, because I congratulated them. Of course, nobody in the press congratulated them, and I think people could sense that I was going to jump in and ask questions that I wanted to ask, and after a while, they just stopped trying. And one guy asked a couple of decent questions, but they were addressing me. If fucking Ozzy is talking, and he started telling the story that Lars told. So I said, how does it feel? And I heard when I said, hey, guy, how does it feel? And I heard someone go, oh, somebody fucking groaned. Somebody groaned. Because I was like, how does it feel that even though you were ignored, that it was your peers that lifted you up and kind of forced them to recognize you, forced this Rock and Roll Hall of Fame to recognize you, which it really was. It's all the bands talking about them and giving them props for all these years that they could not be ignored by the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And, you know, and they would talk about how they felt about that. Oh, they were, sir, could you sit down? Could you sit down, sir? Sir, we can't see. And all you could see, if a middle finger could have jumped out of the back of my head and went, fuck you, it's picture time. Dude, this was the greatest night of my
you could
fucking
hear it in his
life.
Voice. Yeah.
So they walk off. I congratulate them. I was addressed by all of them. It was, dude, I could not have asked for a better night. They walk back behind the curtain. Of course, I walk back. I see Ozzy's assistant, the guy who brought him in, Tony Dennis. And I walk behind, and I go, Tony Dennis. And he kind of looks like he recognized me. So I walk behind the black curtain, and Earl doesn't want to buck the system. I'm like, come here, Earl, get behind the fucking curtain. He's like, oh, wait, just come on behind the fucking curtain. You're black, they'll be afraid of being called racist by throwing you out. Get over here.
He'll blend right into that curtain.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And that's not even a joke. He dresses
Camo.
completely black from head to toe.
Someone left their false teeth in the curtain. Oh, it's talking. So fucking, I'm standing back there. I got my camera out, and there's this bald guy with a fucking tattoo on his head. I know he's with Sabbath, but I don't know his name. I'm like, fuck, this guy's going to be a problem. So I don't see Ralph, who's Tony's guy, because they're behind another area doing, like, Entertainment Tonight or Access Hollywood. And the guy goes, boy, last time I saw you, it was 100 degrees out. I'm like, fuck, he was in Sabbath Village when I interviewed the guys. He knew me.
Right.
So I'm like, yeah.
That was Walter, I think.
It might have been Bill's guy.
Yeah.
You must have then just went, oh, whew.
So I'm like, yeah, man. I'm like, we had Tony. I talked to Tony for like an hour and a half today about an XM show, and Bill called in. He goes, yeah, no, I know. And we were chatting. I'm like, this is fucking great. So I'm like, I want to get a picture with the band. He's like, well, just try to hang here. And when they come off, I'll see if I can, I'll see if I can do it. And then Tony Dennis and I was Ozzy's personal assistant, start talking about XM and satellite radio, because these guys all love fucking satellite. They love the idea of it. So I was having a nice chat. 15 minutes later, some woman walks over and goes, can I help you? I'm like, yeah, I was just talking to Tony Dennis. I had Tony on. She's like, oh, okay. Like, I belong there. I didn't belong there, fat lady. You should have thrown me out. Fucking, I'm fucking telling her, now, look, dude, this is how you turn the camera on. I'm like, I know he's going to blow it. Fucking the band finally comes out.
Yeah.
I turn the camera on. Fucking Ozzy walks over. And I'm like, oh, hey, man, I just wanted to get a quick picture with the band. And he's like, all right. So I stand there. I got my arm around Ozzy. The fucking band isn't coming.
Oh, no. Now you're standing there all awkwardly.
And he goes, all right, man, just take the picture because I got to go. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, geezer. I'm like fucking panicking. I got my arm around Ozzy.
I can only imagine the panic because he has it in his head that he's getting a picture with the band.
Yeah, because he already has the Ozzy picture.
Yeah. Earl fucking snaps the picture because Bill Ward is signing something. Tony is signing something. Ozzy walks away. honest to God, I went, oh no! I fucking wailed like a woman. I went, no! I made.
It's all crumbling apart in front of him this perfect day.
It was pure, honest emotion, devoid of all dignity or self-consciousness. Oh, no! And I said to the fucking guy, I want a picture of Sabbath. Where's Ozzy? And I was in tears because Ozzy goes, get a picture with those guys. And then he walked away. So I fucking couldn't get the Sabbath picture. Fucking Tony comes over and he goes, hey, man. He was really happy to see me. I go, dude, I want to get a picture with the band, but Ozzy won't stop. And he fucking walks with me, and we walk out into this other little staging area, and he grabs Ozzy. He goes, hold on for a second.
Oh, my God.
Iommi stopped Ozzy for me. I got fucking Earl at the camera. I got Geezer there. I got Tony. I'm in the middle. Fucking Tony's on my left. Ozzy's on his left. Geezer's on my right. And fucking Bill's not there. Bill's signing something. And I'm like, Bill! Bill walks in. He's thinking my fucking uncle. I'm calling him. I'm like, Bill, get over here. He runs. Bill Ward runs. And as he's running, he's probably like, who the fuck is this nobody?
Why am I running
calling me
for
over
this
for
guy?
a photo?
Right.
Because it was an instinct when someone calls you over and there's a camera, you run. And then he probably looked and goes, why am I running? This is a fucking nobody. This is not a celebrity. And the next thing you know, Bill Ward is on the right.
There's the picture, all set up.
I see the fucking orange light up. I'm like, please God, flash, flash, flash. The fucking camera flashed. I got my fucking picture. It's perfect. It's the fucking best celebrity photo I have.
It is one of the best pictures that I could ever see Jimmy having.
Everyone in Sabbath, I got my arm around fucking Tony and Geezer. Fucking everyone's looking at the camera.
You're
Ozzy,
happy as a pig in shit. You're smiling. You got your tux on.
They're all holding their Rock and Roll Hall of Fame trophies.
Yeah, they all got their trophies. You look like you're a guy in the band.
Right.
You look like you're part of Sabbath.
Actually,
That's how natural that picture looks.
He looks like part of the Rat Pack because he's got his tux on.
His tux. He's just hanging with the guys.
His bow tie. He's got. Looks like you need a martini in your hand.
Is that a fucking?
It's really a great picture.
What are the odds of getting all those guys in a picture like that?
All looking the same way. All fucking folk. They were all looking at Earl. They all had the rock and roll. It's the
no
greatest.
glare in a window. No bad framing. It's perfect. Amazing.
It's the fucking best.
You could fix red eye with
the red eye was fixed.
Photoshop
I said that was already sent back to be fixed. That's easy.
And the greatest, and they got the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame awards in there. That's historic. Right. I mean, how can you beat that?
Dude, everyone in Sabbath it's the fucking greatest celebrity photo I've ever gotten.
So what is that getting blown up to? What size? Over like your fireplace?
That'll be the entire wall.
That's the west side.
The wall.
I'm covering windows with that.
Yeah.
I actually am going to I wanted to have the special frame made, a fucking cross for my Sabbath photos, like a big frame with my. But I'm like, man, if I had a picture with the band, that'd be great to put at the top of the crucifix.
Right.
Like in the big. And now I can't
That's
believe it happened.
That's the picture.
I fucking will always
That's the
love
picture
it.
where Jesus' head would be.
That's INRI. INRI.
Oh, there's where you're putting it.
I fucking love Earl. I'm taking Ben, Earl, and Steve out for a fucking I won't pay for Ben's liquor, but I am taking them out. I am taking them out for a fucking steak dinner somewhere. It is probably the greatest night of my adult life.
These guys really helped you out. You know that.
They are responsible for it.
I want to know, though.
How many people did you guys have to tell that he has leukemia and he's 12?
Only a few.
Boy.
I want to know. I was saying to Steve this morning, like, in the cab back from the Waldorf to your apartment, like, how many times you were looking at that picture?
Not at all. I looked at it once to make sure it took, and then I'm like keeping it to my thing. I'm like, please God, don't let the picture get erased. And I fucking just huddled my camera.
Would it be great if there was a little puff of white smoke and all you smelt was electronics burnt?
No.
Like when something just goes. And go, what's burning? It smells like circuit board. Ah! And it's your camera.
Bill's guy took a picture too.
I got a scenario for you. So now you're back. You're going back to your apartment in a cab, right?
Yes.
Let's just say it gets T-boned. Horrific accident. You're completely fine. A miracle. You are fine, but you watch your digital camera go flying out of the cab and bounce, 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 and then like a city bus runs it over.
I'm unhappy. And what I do is I try to contact Bill Ward's guy because he also took the picture.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, but sometimes two different cameras. Picture
he was right behind her. But
horrid.
Well, dude, if it was the option of city bus crush picture or picture, I'd take picture.
You know that we're looking at the peak of Jimmy's life right here?
Yeah, this is it.
This is it. You know that, right?
Everyone
has
up, and now here it goes back down.
Everyone's life has that peak.
Yes.
And then it just gets worse from there. until you're shitting yourself in a bed somewhere with family members around.
That was it.
That was it for me. And
It'll never get better than yesterday.
Someone asked me, why didn't you get Metallica? And I'm like, I didn't want to blow my wad and do something stupid first. I mean, I would love to have a shot with Metallica, but that was not the goal, dude.
But you have a picture with James and Lars, don't you?
Everyone, I actually have all of them.
Oh, you do? Well, then you have it.
I have all of them as well.
Okay. But I
I don't know. I'm just fucking with you.
But
a lot of people are saying you jerked off on Pal Talk last night.
No, I did not jerk off on Pal Talk. I was fucking so happy. I was showing my picture, of course, because people wanted to know. And there was a little show going on, and I changed. I was wearing my boxers and my fucking my T-shirt. And I didn't realize that my camera was kind of fucking low. Like in my camera, my thing. But I knew I was on camera. But I was like fucking just kind of scratching and adjusting my bag and my mule. But I wasn't jerking off.
All right. Well, there's a little controversy with that. So
I would please.
I know. You would admit it.
I've jerked off many times looking at Pal Talk chicks. But not in the main room.
Well, the picture of Jimmy with the entire band is up on opieandanthony.com.
It's my favorite photo that I've ever taken. I don't look particularly fat.
What was Earl like during this whole thing? As this all
He was
happened?
very calm, dude. He was a little nervous we were going to get thrown out. But every time
him freaking out, you're gonna get me thrown out.
Every time somebody would look at us, I would just start acting like I belong there. So I would just start talking to Earl about nonsense, like dude, the fucking satellite thing. Nobody wants to deal with commercials anymore. Just keep talking until they walk away. I look like you belong here. And fucking, I fucking love Earl. I will never have a bad thing to say about Earl.
I've been in that situation with Jimmy, and it's just not.
I have too.
It's just not
we all
fun.
have.
Dude, but
No
dude,
offense.
Metallica,
I know you get the
backstage.
job done. Trust me.
That was so hard, dude.
It was me and Bill Burr and Jim Norton and you,
Ben.
right,
Yeah,
Ben?
yeah, I was there. Yeah,
It was so not fun.
we stayed for 2 hours. after
2
the
hours
concert.
after the show just to take care of our pal.
But that,
And
dude,
be
those-
there for him. It
Those
was
are
the
hard photos
worst.
to get. Sabbath is a band. I said to Tony, I'll never get this chance again.
Yeah.
Not that Sabbath won't tour again, but they're very rarely together as a band, dude. They fly separately. They stay in different hotels. They fucking probably meet 5 minutes before they go on. There's just not a lot of band opportunities. And this was someplace they were doing press together, and that's rare.
Why don't we listen to Metallica playing Iron Man? We got a little clip of that.
Yes.
They did this, last night?
They did
whatever?
this at Hole in the Sky, which I love them for doing.
That's Hetfield?
Fucking Hetfield, man. Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah.
They
Didn't
did
sound
that.
like him at all.
They did that and fucking Hole in the Sky, which is the first song of Sabotage. It's not, as far as Sabbath songs, it's not one of their more mainstream popular songs. So I love Metallica for doing it.
Yeah, let's go to Jeff in O-Town. Jeff?
Hey, Jimmy, let me tell you something. You're my hero, and I love to listen to you talk about Sabbath. And I'm not even that big of a Sabbath fan, but I got to hear you must have, besides not jerking off on Pal Talk, I know you're a freak, man. You must have done something else when you got home. Tell me what I want to know. What happened afterwards? The meeting is amazing, but I want to hear what happened on the way home, how you felt, what you did when you got home, because there's something else going on. There's something you're covering up.
No, dude. I'll tell you what I did when I got home. I was on Pal Talk for a while. I called a couple of friends. This was the one I wanted. I couldn't believe it came out so perfectly. I wound up just jacking off and going to bed. I was running around. I couldn't sleep. I'm probably going on 3 hours of sleep in 2 days. And by the way, thank God I flew home from Aspen when I did. Remember, I came home a day early so I wouldn't miss the Iommi lunch if it happened, or the Bill Ward call in, because fucking my friend Chelsea got stuck sleeping in an airport because fucking Aspen, that faggoty city, was snowing. If I would have gotten stuck and missed that because of snow, I would have fucking killed myself.
Yeah.
It would have ruined my life.
Quite literally.
So happy.
Ruined his life, and I believe it.
And I fucking left that dumb city. But no, dude, I didn't do anything. There was nothing I could do that would have topped what happened. There was nothing I could do that would have completed my night more. I mean, I just couldn't.
This was it for you. I mean, what else you got to look forward to? I mean, this is you've done everything you've ever wanted to now in life.
It really was. I was very fucking lucky to have that happen. I would like to do a 1 hour or 2 hour radio thing with Bill once and once with Tony because I really do want to do that stuff. I mean, I really want to do that with those guys.
And they're open to it.
And they're both very open to it.
Let's go to Tim in New York. Tim, what's up?
Morning, boys.
Hey,
Jimmy, I just had to tell you, man. You had me so captivated with that story. I was with you the whole time. Is he gonna get it? Is he gonna get it? I was so on your side and just I was come on, get in the fucking picture.
Thanks, man.
Great, man. I felt so good for you, man.
Thank
you.
you.
It was fucking great. It was I got the picture almost.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was great, man, and I can't believe it happened. It's it was really weird. Normally everything works against you in those moments, but when Ozzy walked away, he wasn't being a dick, dude. He was just tired. He didn't want to stand there and wait for fucking 3 other guys and a camera crew. He's fucking been going since 8 in the morning. So it was like the assistants, their energy was there. It was a really weird thing. Nobody was all right, come on, Ozzy, let's go. They were kind of looking around fuck.
Kismet.
Exactly. Whatever it is, that's what it was. But you can see they kind of felt bad. I think they kind of remember me from this, and they kind of know that I'm a very big supporter, vocal, and they just kind of wanted to see it work out for me, like you would a retarded child.
Right. Exactly. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I understand.
Like a retarded child.
Yeah. Tom in Wisconsin.
Jimmy.
Yes, Tom.
Man, I am so. Are you there?
Yes, sir.
Hey, I am so happy for you guys. I mean, kid in the candy store, you sound so happy. I mean, I can feel the love. And you know what? It beats the shit out of cancer jokes any day to hear you this happy. I mean, it'd be like me meeting Eddie Van Halen. I'm so proud. I'm glad Earl made it happen for you. And keep up the good work. May all your dreams come true.
Well, they have.
All right, Tom.
Thanks, buddy.
Hey, how was the rest of the ceremony?
I guess it existed. I mean,
did he leave right after the picture was done?
Well, after that was only Skinner. I was back there while Skinner was playing.
How do they sound?
I could hear free. Yeah, who knew? I mean, I walked right out when I was done.